Okay, I recorded that. We're actually going to start talking about some things over the next few weeks, the next few Mondays that are going to help educate us, that's going to help put us in position to really go out there and crush it in our dreams, our goals, our aspects, every single thing that we want out of life, guys. And I want you to understand that you have the ability to see all the success you want to see, but it's going to require you to take the right action. And this call is actually a call that is OD to me, because I'm gonna be real, guys. This call struck me like crazy when I was first learning it. And I cannot wait to teach this to y'all because it's gonna blow your mind. So what we're gonna talk about today, guys, what we're going to really focus on is what's called God's success formula. God's success formula. So can everybody drop God's success formula in the chat, just so y'all know? I'm trying to fix my camera. My camera going crazy, y'all. So God's success formula, right? And this is where we're going to really start this call off. I'm excited for every single thing that we have going on today. God's success formula. So we're going to talk about God's success formula. How you're going to be able to really see success in your business, in your life, in your relationships. This is not just for this business or for this specifically, but we're going to just talk about success in general, guys. How you're going to be able to help yourself, how you're going to be able to put yourself in position to truly win. We're going to talk about God's success formula. So I want you to understand, before we really talk about this is not to promote any religious reviews or religious views, or to promote to my beliefs, but I can only teach this information how I know it. So understand, I can only give you this information how I know it, but this information is going to be greatly useful for you if you take it and apply it and run with it. So we're talking about God's success formula. I want you to understand, guys, that God is amazing because he created the earth, and when he created the earth, the universe, he used a thing called systems to create the universe, right? He used systems, and if we follow these simple systems, we're going to be able to see the same results that we want to see in our lives, whether it's financial success, relationship success, spiritual, emotional success. There are systems in place to be able to guide us that are very simple. And for a lot of us, we've made success way more complex than it actually is. But I want you to understand today that success is very simple. And we're going to talk about what God thinks about success. We're going to talk about how you actually going to be able to use these principles, right, to get success. And understand, guys, I'm never going to teach you something that I haven't done myself, or that I have not discovered that I was doing, right? I did not understand this success principle 2 weeks ago when I first heard this, and it literally changed my life in terms of my awareness. But I realized in my life of the last 3.5 years, going on 4 years, I've been using this principle to get results. And if you tune this principle, you're going to be able to get results. So we're about to look at a verse. I'm going to really break this verse down for you so you can kind of understand. But we're going to look at a verse today that really shows God's view on success and his formula to success, right? And this one verse, guys, I want you to write this down. This one verse is the one and only time that the word success is used in the Bible, right? This is the one and only time the word success is ever used in the Bible. So that, to me, that's very important, because like, okay, out of all the words that you can use, we talk about every single person on this planet is trying to chase this so-called success, right? And God is literally showing us through his word there is one time that he actually uses the word success, right? And we're going to look at this verse, and we're going to really talk about the success principles of God and what we can actually do to be able to get to that next level, right? So the verse I'm going to look at and I'm going to read to you guys is Joshua 1:8, and you can read the whole thing, but to kind of give you perspective on what Joshua is, right? This is right after Moses. If you don't know who Moses is, Moses was the person that God used, or God had told that he's going to lead the Israelites to the promised land, right? And he got the Israelites to the promised land, but because of his disobedience, right, he was stuck in the wilderness for 40 years, right? And God told him that he would not enter the promised land. So Moses dies. Boom, God kills Moses. Moses dies, right? And he appoints Moses's mentee Joshua, right? And he's talking to Joshua. God is talking to Joshua in the first chapter in Joshua, and he's telling him all these things, right? And then he gets to a point where he talks about success, and it kind of like triggered something in me. I said, hold on, wait, this is actually like super powerful if we kind of understand what he's talking about. So we only got Joshua 1:8. I'm going to read it, and then we're going to really dive into it. So Joshua 1:8 says, I'm going to read it to you. This book of law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it daily and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. I read again. Joshua 1:8 says, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous, and then you will have good success. Right. So this is the only time that God uses the word success in the Bible. And we're trying to figure out, okay, what's God's success formula? How am I going to be able to be successful in my business? Maybe you're in our business, maybe trading, maybe you have a clothing line, maybe you're at your job, you're trying to be successful, maybe in school, maybe you're in your relationships, maybe in all these things. How am I going to be successful? And right, what is God's thoughts, and how am I going to have a success formula for that? Right. And we've heard different people's takes on success. We've heard different definitions of success. But guys, I'm going to be real with you. When I really discovered this and I broke it down, it killed me. So if we look at the definitions of success, let's first define what is success. Right. And my one of the people that I listen to on The Stranger Secret, Earl Nightingale, he says success is the progressive realization of a worthy ideal. Right. So success is the progressive realization for a worthy ideal. So what's your worthy ideal for success? Maybe it's you want to have this nice house. Maybe you want to have a nice car. Maybe you want to have this much money set aside in your bank account. Maybe you want to get this degree. Whatever success is for you is the progressive realization of the worthy ideal. For Joshua, his success was getting the Israelites to the promised land. Right? God gave him a message. He told him what to do. And he said, if you do these things, you're going to find your ways prosperous, and then you're going to be success. You're going to have good success. So how are we always going to have good success, guys? So the number one thing, right? The number one principle in God's success formula, write this down. Number one is that you have to talk about it. You got to talk about it, right? Everybody drop the words talk about it in the chat, right? You got to talk about your success. That's the first step, right? God's success formula says you have to talk about it. If you look at the first part of Joshua 1:8, it says, this book of law shall not depart from your mouth. What does that mean? You have to constantly talk about it. You have to ask yourself, if we're trying to reach your success, your pinnacle of success, are you talking about it? Are you spreading out information and talking about that success, right? I see all the time, there's a lot of quotes, right? Because, it gets a lot of likes. It gets a lot of likes. It gets a lot of traction when people say, you should move in silence. And yes, there's a part true in that. But you also have to talk about it, right? He literally says, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, right? He's literally telling him, like, you can't let this information, you can't let what I told you depart from what you're saying, because understand, guys, why do I have to continuously talk about it? Why do I have to continuously keep it in my mouth? Why do I have to continuously say it over and over and over again and talk about it? Because whatever I talk about becomes part of my thoughts, right? Solomon said it best. He said, as a man thinking in his heart, so shall he be. So what am I talking about? What am I talking about on a daily, right? How do I build my belief? My belief is built by my five senses. One of my senses is, what am I hearing, right? It says faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God. So he said, you have to talk about this law. Do not let this law depart from your mouth. Why? Because when I talk about it, I keep hearing it, and it builds my faith for it, right? Because you have to understand that when God was talking to Joshua didn't see the promised land. He hadn't seen it yet. He hadn't made it to it yet. God's telling him, if you do these things, if you do these things, you're going to see the promised land. So I have to keep talking about it, talking about the law. I have to keep telling the Israelites, we're going to get to the promised land. But if we do this, God said, we're going to make it. I have to continue to talk about it. Why? Because it builds my faith forward. And you have to ask yourself, what are you talking about on a daily basis? Are you talking about your problems or your promise? Right? Are we focused on our problems, or are we focused on our promise? So a lot of times we talk about our problems, and that's why we keep getting our problems. We have faith in our problems. Some of us have so much faith in our problems over the promise, right? Like you said, you're going to be a six-figure earner. You said you're going to be that seven-figure earner. But the question is, do you really believe that? Because do you talk about it? Is it in your mouth? Is it departing from your mouth? Right? The Bible says, out of the heart, the mouth speaks. So whatever's in your heart comes out your mouth. So my faith, if your faith in your heart, is going to come out. If there's faith in your heart, it's going to come out. Right? In this business, when I was talking about becoming a six-figure earner, I had to keep saying it. It didn't just happen. I had to keep saying, I'm going to be a six-figure. I had to keep saying, I'm going to be rich. I had to keep saying that. And because I kept saying it, faith built up in my heart. And that was all that was coming out of my mouth. I didn't talk about my problems. But some of you, you have so much fear in your heart that all you do is talk about your problems. What if it don't work, Jay Hayes? Man, what if it doesn't work? What if this relationship doesn't work? What if this job doesn't pan out? What if man, what if I can't get anybody to join my business? What if nobody supports me? Like, you're talking about your problems. So you got to talk about it. He told Joshua, literally in Joshua 1:8, he says, this book of law shall not depart from your mouth. So I have to talk about it. I have to continuously talk about it. Continuously speak on it, right? Literally in the Bible, it also says, speak those things as though they were, right? Am I speaking those things? Am I saying I am? I'm happy and grateful now that I am, right? I have to keep talking about it. But number 2, write this down. So God's success for me says, I have to talk about it because it's going to be a quick call. We ain't going to be on here long. We're going to hit it and quit it. We got here, right? He says, I have to talk about it. That's number 1. But number 2, he says, I have to think about it, right? Because he says, and we're going to read this again. He says, this book of law shall not depart from your mouth. But part 2 says, but you shall meditate in it day and night. You shall meditate in it day and night. So I have to continuously think about it. So I'm talking about my goal. I'm talking about the success that I want. I'm talking about that thing, that promise that he gave me. But am I thinking about it daily? He said, meditate on it day and night. That means constantly, 24 hours a day. Am I thinking about the execution of what I want? Like I said, Solomon says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. Thoughts are things. Write that down. Thoughts are things. Thoughts are things, right? So I have to think about it. Am I thinking about it? Is the dominant thing in my mind, my goal, my success, the thing that I want? Am I constantly thinking about it? When I go to sleep, I'm thinking about it. When I wake up, I'm thinking about it. When I'm brushing my teeth, when I'm eating, when I'm driving, I'm constantly thinking about that thing. So he says, this book of law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night. Because I have to continuously think about it. You have to ask yourself, what is in my thoughts? What's in my thoughts? Yes, I'm talking about it. I can talk about success. Some of you are talking about 6 figures. Some of you are talking about opening up this brand. Some of you are talking about getting that promotion. But in your thoughts, your thoughts saying, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Man, this is what the back office is looking like right now, man. I don't know. Man, like, your thoughts are negating what you said. Like, watch this. He says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so shall he be. Out of the heart, the mouth speaks. So what happens? My thoughts speak. As out of my thoughts get into my heart, what's in my heart comes out my mouth. Then he says, power of life and death, the life and death are the power of the tongue. So whatever I speak is either my future or my funeral. So what are you doing? Are you building up your dreams, or are you putting them in a casket? But that starts with, what am I talking about? Okay, I'm talking about it, but what I'm talking about is what I'm meditating on. So am I always worrying? Am I always frustrated? Am I always sad? Am I always angry? Because those feelings create those thoughts. Those thoughts create that in my heart that I'm speaking out. So am I thinking about anger? Am I angry? Am I frustrated? Am I disappointed all the time? Am I all these emotions that are killing what I actually want to happen, because it's coming out of my mouth? So I have to talk about it. And understand, we go back to talk about it. Number 1, you got to understand too, right? I just had to thank you, God, for that. But understand, whatever you praise, you raise. And you can only praise something with your mouth. You can only speak praises. You can't think praises. You have to speak them. Whatever you praise, you raise. And whatever you raise, you praise. So what are you praising in your life? Are you praising the debt? Are you praising the bills? Are you praising the disappointments? Are you praising your quote unquote haters? Or are you praising your goals? Whatever you praise, you raise, right? But number 2, number 1, I have to talk about it. Number 2, I have to think about it. And number 3, I have to take action on it. This is the one. I have to take action on it. So you have to understand that I can't just talk about it. I can't just think about it. I have to take action on it. Where does he say that? Let's go back to Joshua. He said, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. Watch this. He says, you got to talk about it, Joshua. Right? I told you Moses couldn't do it, but you're going to lead the people to the promised land. So, maybe, your upline couldn't get you there, but maybe you got to lead the people there. He's talking to Joshua. I got to make the connection for y'all. He's talking to Joshua. Moses couldn't get them to the promised land. He was angry. He didn't believe. He said promised land. He said you didn't believe. He said, all right, Joshua, your upline couldn't get you there. Your upline quit. He gave up. He's gone. But this is what you got to do if you want to get your people to the promised land. He said, because he didn't see it, don't mean you can't see it. Right? So he said, you got to talk about it. You got to talk about it. Don't let it depart from your mouth. So you got to think about it. You got to meditate on it day and night. He said, you got to take action that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. So what I'm saying, so basically it says, what you're talking about and what you're thinking about, now you have to do what you said, what you've been saying. A lot of us, the reason why we're not successful is not because we're not talking about it, it's not because we're not thinking about it, it's because we're not doing what we're talking about. Oh, bro, I'm going cheering. Okay. But what are you doing? Oh, bro, I just thought of a new idea. This is going to get people into, okay, what are you doing? So I can't just talk about it. I can't just think about it, right? There's a lot of people who think talking about it is going to get them to the next level. Listen, it takes all three parts. There's people right now, listen, I'm going to be real. There's people right now that will tell you, don't learn about belief and faith. That's not going to get you there. That's not going to get you there. You know why belief and faith doesn't get people there? Is because they think belief and faith is just talking and thinking. That's not it. He said that you observe to do according to what is written. You got to take action. The law of attraction is really the law of action. Because you only get what you deserve. So if you haven't done anything, you get nothing. There's people who think that talking and thinking are going to get there, right? That doesn't get you there. Like the only person that can create through talking is God, because he created nothing from talking. There was a void in the earth. He said, let there be light, there was light. He took nothing and created something. But God didn't give us that ability. He gave us ability to say, I give you all this thing. He said, I may give you dominion over the things and he said, I give you dominion of the earth and what the earth created, which was the birds, the creatures of the earth. Right. So he said, you have to create from using things. He said, he created man to labor the land, right? He gave us the ability to create using things. He's the only person that can create out of nothing. He's the only person that can speak and it happens. Like when people say you speak into existence, that's technically not biblically accurate, but that's another day. You can't really speak anything to existence. That's only God can do that. You got to take action. That's why he said faith without work is dead. You have to do some type of work. You have to actually do some physical form because you're in the physical body. Right. So I can't just talk about it and think about it. I have to actually do the work. Okay. I'm talking about going chair. I'm thinking about going chair. I actually got to do the prospecting. I got to do the presenting. I'm talking about being a six-figure trader. I got to do the trading. I got to do the education. I'm talking about getting that promotion. I got to do the work that is necessary to get. I can't just think about getting I got to do the work. I can't just say I'm going to make the NBA, I'm going to make it to the NFL. No, I gotta do some stuff. I gotta do some stuff. I can't just think about being in the NBA and just one day I'm in the NBA. And I gotta do work. He says that you may observe to do according to all that is written in it. For then you will make your way prosperous and you have good success. Now, I need you to watch this. So number one, he said, you got to think about it. Talk about it, excuse me. Number two, you got to think about it Number 3, you have to take action on it. And you have to analyze yourself. Am I talking, thinking, and taking action on what I want? Fellas on the call, talk to me, fellas. If you're on the call, fellas on the call. That girl that you like, can you just talk and think about, hey, bro, that's going to be my girl. Thinking about it every day. Is she going to be a girl if you don't take action on it? If you don't actually talk to her? No, she's not. Like, think about it. You want to make the greatest steak in the world. You hungry? You like, I'm going to make a steak. Is thinking about the steak and talking about the steak going to make the steak? No, you got to do the work, right? Then he says, for then you will make your way prosperous and then you have good success. Now, I need you to watch this, catch this, because this is the pinnacle of the success formula. This is where people are missing off. For then you will make your way prosperous and then you have good success. I want you to understand this. The God did not tell Joshua, for then I will make your way prosperous. Understand this. God is not going to make your way prosperous. He says you will. He says, for then you will make your way prosperous and have good success. What does that mean? Stop praying to God to give you money. Ooh. Stop praying to God for stuff that you have to do the work for. Right? A lot of times we think that, like, I'm gonna be real, the way people think of God, they think he's some outside being. No, he's a part of you, right? He said he created you in his likeness and his image. So you have his DNA, he's inside of you. Right? A lot of times people say, I'm letting go and letting God. No, so that means they just do nothing and they just hope God poof. No, that's not how it works. It says, for then you will make your way prosperous. You got to do the work so you can make your way prosperous. God is not going to give you money. He's going to put you in a space so you can create the money that you want. See, some of you, can I be real? How deep can I go? It's 9:30. Can I go? Y'all good? Can I go look? Can I go in there? I'm good on IG. Can I go in there real quick? I'm gonna be real. Some of you, if I want to be really real, some of you want God to make up for your laziness. You want God to make up for your laziness because he's God, so he can. You want him to make up for your laziness. Like he said, the book of the law shall not depart from your mouth, but you shall meditate in it day and night, that you shall observe to do according as written. For then you make your way prosperous. He didn't say, hey, Joshua, if it gets hard, he said, Joshua, listen, I got you, bro. No, he didn't say that. He said, I told you what to do. If you do it, you'll be prosperous. You'll have prosperity. But most people don't realize that because they don't know how God creates. He didn't say, but if you do this, bro, I'm going to do it for you. No, God's not going to do it for you. You think like some of you, you're waiting on God to make you rich. He's not going to make you rich. He said, you have to make your way prosperous. So that means, am I going to do the work? Faith without works is dead. Some of your dreams are dead because you have no work, not because you don't have faith. Some of your dreams are dead because you don't have no work, not because you don't have faith. Some of your goals are dying because your work is dying. So I got to figure out, okay, I got to talk about it. Why do I talk about it? Because it builds my faith muscle. It builds my belief muscle because faith comes by hearing. So I keep talking about it. I keep hearing it. Then I got to think about it. Why do I think about it? Because my thoughts become into my heart. So I think, therefore I am. I become what I think about. I get what I think about. Because whatever I think about comes into my heart. Whatever's in my heart comes out my mouth. And I create with my mouth. I plant seeds with my thoughts. I harvest those seeds with my mouth. But then I got to do the work. I have to do the work. I got to do the work. Because then I got to create. How do I create my success? I create like God. How does God create? God creates in three ways, using three ways. Number one, he creates with concepts, conceiving. Y'all said I can go teach, so I'm going to just teach. Number one, he creates through conceiving. So what does that mean? right? He said he created us in his likeness and his image. So how could he create us in his likeness and his image if there was no prior image? There had to be an image first. So he had to have a concept. He creates with concepts. Number two, he creates with communication. How does he create? He said, let there be light, there was light. He communicated to the thing that he wanted to be created. So I have to, number one, have a concept. I have to see up here what I want. If I want to be a chairman, do I have the concept of chairman? If I want to create a phone, do I have the concept of the phone? Understand that whatever, this bottle of Powerade was first a concept. Somebody thought and said, this is what the design looks like. This pen was a concept. Then I have to communicate this concept. How did God communicate with his words? He uses words. Let there be light, there was light. And then three, he completed it. A lot of you can't create the life you want because you don't complete anything. All right, it says God said, let there be light, there was light, and he saw that it was good. What is that? And he saw it was good part. Why is that so important? Because he waited for it to be complete before he went and did something else. Some people, they'll get to this point, they'll hit P1000 and then say, you know, I'm not making enough money. Let me go start a clothing brand. The clothing brand doesn't take off. Let me go do this. Let me go. They don't complete anything, so they don't see anything. They don't complete anything, so they don't see anything. They don't see results. God said, let there be light. It was light, and he saw that it was good. So he creates through concepts, communication, completion. Understand when we talk about completion part, he said, let there be light. There was light, and he saw that it was good. Understand, there was light before he saw it. I hope y'all caught that. When he said, let there be light, there was light, and he saw it was good. The light was already there before he saw it. So what does that mean for you? If you create the same way he creates, 6 figures is already there. 7 figures is already there. Chairman is already there. Those houses, those cars, they're already there. But how do I get it to seeing you? I got to do the work. I can talk about it. I can think about it, but I got to do the work so I can find my way prosperous, so I can have good success. And that's where you're going to be able to start getting that success that you want. Start putting yourself in the success that you want. It's not complex. It's not complex, but it requires you to do the work. And that's where a lot of people fall off. A lot of people want it so easy. They don't want to pay no price. They don't want to pay no cost. They want the joint to just happen. It don't work like that. Like it doesn't work like that. God doesn't give out free gifts. Write that down. God doesn't give free gifts. Like, nothing's free. But I need you to catch that this important part is that you got to talk about what you want. I want you to monitor how much you're talking about your goals. You're like, I want to go to the next rank. I want to make this withdrawal. I want to whatever goal you have. How much are you talking about it? And not just inner conversation, outward conversation. Because understand, Joshua couldn't just talk to himself. He had to talk to the people that was following him, the people around him, so they could gain belief, right? You know why people don't believe in your business? Because you don't talk about it enough. Faith comes by hearing. So if they don't hear it enough, they won't have faith for it. My parents did not believe in the business because they didn't hear me talk about it enough. The moment they kept hearing me talk about it, their faith grew forward because my faith was forward. My friends at first did not believe in what I was doing. Why? Because they didn't hear it enough. But the moment they kept hearing it, their faith grew. So when you say, "Oh, my friends don't believe," I want to challenge you, not your friends. Is it because your friends don't believe, or is it because you're not talking about it enough in front of your friends? So why would they believe? And then I got to think about it. I think about it in myself. I think about those things because my thoughts create my reality. My thoughts create what's in my heart. My thoughts create my faith to go out and do the work. Because if you think it doesn't work, you're not going to do the work. Some of you not doing the work because you think it doesn't work for real. And it's not that you don't think it doesn't work. You think it doesn't work for you. So that's why you don't do the work. They got it because they lucky. Oh, they like that because they got some placements. Oh, they like that because they did that. No, just because they believe they could do it. Then the moment I believed I could go P5000, I did it because I thought I could do it. So I did the work. And then you got to do the work. You got to take action on it. How's your action? You show me your action, I show you your faith. Some of you can have way more results if you took more action. My results came from action, right? I remember, like, my first 11 months, I didn't make any money. My first 11 months, didn't make no money. What changed for me month 12? I know. I was talking about it so much. I was thinking about it so much every day. I was personal development every day. This is the same audio every day. I was talking about it every day to my parents, to my friends, on social media, to everybody. I was talking about it. Then I was doing work. I was really in the grind. And what I couldn't do in 11 months, I did in 35 days. I made more in 35 days than I made in 11 months. Why? Because I just used the success principle and I found my way prosperous. I wasn't waiting on God to do it because he was, understand, a lot of you are waiting on God and he waiting on you. So y'all just sitting there waiting. You up here praying and hoping, praying to God, hoping. You waiting on God, he waiting on you. Like, why are you praying for God? God, give me chairman. He already did because you asked for it. He said, and when you pray, believe that you receive it and you will have it. Which that means, he said, when you pray, I've already given it to you. How do I have it? Because I don't have time to really teach on this. This is 9:41. I don't have time to get into it. But I become a being. That's being. How do I get to having it? I do. Be, do, have. Right. The doing is the excerpt of being it. Because I become it, I start doing it. Because I became a chairman, I start doing what chairman did. Because I became a six-figure earner, I start doing what six-figure earners do. Because I started doing what a chairman did, I started having what chairman had, aka the back office, aka the leaders, aka the trade. But I have to be it first. That's why I don't really do calls and talk about action. Everybody's like, why don't you have so many calls talking about action? Because some of you don't even know how to become it. So talking about the action don't matter, because why am I going to teach you chairman activities to a customer mindset? You're a customer trying to do a chairman activity. So you're not even going to do it in the way you need to do it. Science of getting rich, right? So I got to become it. What's becoming? Having is what I want. That's the property. We all want stuff. We all have, what do we have? We want the cars, the jewelry, the watches, the success, the ladies, the men, the bottles, whatever you want. That's what I want. Being is what God wants. He wants me to become something. He wants me to have that in my being. So how do I get and link what God wants and what I want together? I got to do the work. He says, and when you pray, believe that you receive it and that you will have. He said, faith without works is dead. He said, you have to believe that your faith can move mountains. He said, seeking you should find, knocking and it shall be opened up to you. Right? He's telling us all these things. If I do action, it's going to get me to the next level. But because I'm talking about it, and when ye pray, believe that you receive it and happen. What is praying? Praying is saying, I got to talk about it. And when you pray, when I'm talking about it, believe that I have it. My belief comes from my thoughts. I think I already have it. Believe you receive it and you will have it. And then I do the work. So I want you to analyze that this week. What am I talking about? Analyze what you're talking about. Are you only calling your mentor to complain and cry? Do you only call the people on your team to complain and cry? Do you only call your best friend to complain and cry and to be sad? And then what am I thinking about? When you laying by yourself, when you at work, when you at the crib, when you out to eat, what are you thinking about? And then what are you doing? What are you taking action on? Does your action align with what you said? Analyze that. Are the actions that I'm taking on a daily basis succumbing to the person that I want to become? If the answer is no, well, you're never going to have what you say you want until you fix that. And then you find your way prosperous. God's already made the way. You got to walk down the path, though. He can't walk it for you. He's not going to do it for you. All right, so do y'all get this? Yes or yes? Talk to me in the chat. Y'all got that? You understand that? God's success formula. This is the greatest formula. It's so simple. People think being so successful is so hard. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. I promise you it's not. You gotta talk, you gotta think, you gotta do, you gotta take action. So listen, I hope y'all got some value. Hope you learned something. If you don't follow me on IG. My IG name is my name. Next week, we back again next week. I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission. I'm about to change the way y'all think. Because if I change it, I can't change what y'all do, but if I change the way you think, I'll change what you do to up your results. Now listen, catch this. I need you to understand this. Do not get on this call just to get on this call to be like, fire, let's go, to be lit, and then you don't do nothing tomorrow. Like I told you the success formula. If you just sat on this call and did nothing and you do nothing, you just don't have it. Like some of y'all get on this call because you want educational masturbation. What does that mean? It's like it feels good, but at the end of the day, you realize you're just screwing yourself. Like a lot of y'all have educational masturbation going on. Like you have real problems. Like you get on these calls because it feels good, but then all you realize is that you just got on here and did nothing with it, and you end up just screwing yourself. You effing yourself. Like take the work, like take the education and apply it. Like take the education and actually apply it. Don't be the person that just go on ham on yourself. No, go out and apply it. It creates results, not only for you, but for other people. So listen, I love you. I hope that y'all get success. I will see you next Monday. Next Monday, I think I don't know what we're gonna talk about. I think I'm gonna talk about belief. I think I'm about to really talk about the power of belief or the power of faith. I don't know yet. We'll see what God tells me to talk about. We'll see what I feel like talking about. Listen, I hope you have success. Listen, follow me on IG if you don't follow me. Go into my team chat, go into currency chat, go in your team chats, give them fire, let them know. Listen, let's build this call up, man. I'm excited for y'all. I'm excited for the success you're about to see, guys. Listen, I hope I see the top because the bottom's too crowded, but we're never gonna let down for anybody in the bottom unless we want to help them up. Be blessed. Have a great rest of your day, guys. And I love y'all. See y'all next week.